Bob Hazer from the Irrecorables, and we're starting on level 2, steps 5 through 8 of the PSIA curriculum. And this is where we're our first attempts at maintaining speed control, and we'll just start some change of direction. So let's get going.
It's time to move to a more challenging slope. If you are working at a resort, you probably have access to a magic carpet. If you are a parent with your own kid, you may want to take your first chairlift at this point. So we're going to start with step 8, riding the lift. Getting on the chairlift can be intimidating for first-timers. If you are able, you should select a detachable lift since chairs come in much slower than the older lifts. Have your skiers observe others getting on and explain the process before getting in line. If you have a chair or bench, you may want to do a quick simulation of sitting down and then pushing off at the top. Explain how they need to place both poles in one hand, and after the last chair before them goes by, shuffle forward and stop on the load here indicator strip. Do a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, reach back and sit, all while holding onto your poles. As they approach the top, they prepare their poles and simply stand up and glide off. While in line, your student may need to use their poles to move forward and to stop. Explain that they should not worry about any dropped item and to just focus getting on the chair. The lift operator will simply send it on the next chair. Once safely on the chair, get them in the habit of using the safety bar. Now that they are comfortable on the chairlift, step 5 is gliding and breaking wedge. Find a gentle slope that leads to a flat runout and get them into a wedge facing downhill while using their poles to hold them stationary. Have them release their poles and start their gliding wedge until they come to a stop. Next, try a slightly steeper slope where they will need to go into a breaking wedge to control their speed. Once they have mastered a breaking wedge, they are ready to move on to a longer slope with no runout area, but start with a wedge traverse diagonal to the fall line and have them go into a breaking wedge and come to a full stop. Have them repeat this down the slope while shifting the traverse closer and closer to the fall line. A fun drill for this stage of development is leapfrog. After mastering speed control and stopping, it's time to introduce turning. From an athletic stance, have them press their shins against the front of their boot, one leg at a time. Some instructors tell their students to imagine there is a bug between their shin and their boot, and they need to squash the bug.
So good athletic stance. If I want to turn left, I squash the bug on my right shin. I'm going to come around, and there we go. I made a nice turn. Now we're going to try it the other way. I'm going to go back down, I'm going to squash the bug on my left, and I'm going to come around. I really like the bug. We were just working out here with some girls earlier. First time skiing, they're struggling. We have them squash the bug, and their technique improved greatly. All right, so the next thing, we did one turn this way, did one turn this way, maybe have them do a couple more C turns. You can have them try a J turn. I'm squashing the bug. I want to go all the way around. I'm going to do a J turn, and now I made a complete turn.
Some students will start to link turns at this point, which is fine, but tell them you need to see at least one full J turn that they take to a full stop. Once they have mastered the turn and stop, we are ready to move on to level 3 and steps 9 and 10.